everyone. This might seem weird, a YouTube cast from ZombieGrub, but I figured it'd be BlizzCon, and, might as well try and upload something every day to YouTube, and hopefully the schedule thing works, but also this happened recently. If you don't know what this is, and you missed the excitement, this is a Rifkin versus Livibee show match that happened a couple days ago on Livibee's stream. It was a best of 3. This was the first game where they're both playing their main races, and spoiler alert, Rifkin does some really weird shit. Also, spoiler alert, it's a long game, and I will be using the ×4 speed, maybe pretty liberally, but yeah, I'm definitely gonna give a lot of shit to both of these players. Let's do the intros in the bottom right, as they keep on talking. It is the Red Terran, Rifkin. And in the top left, as the pink Zerg, it is Livibee. The show match, what was on the line for that was that Livibee had to take off her Ace Hoy shirt, or, well, actually it's now a ZGB Hoy shirts, I should say. So, pretty embarrassing stuff, but she really felt like wearing it, and Rifkin really hates it, so he challenged her. They had been talking a couple of days, weeks, whatever, earlier about doing a show match, and nothing really, like, why bother? But that shirt was enough of a big deal to make Rifkin play a show match. Now, I'll probably be doing this game. The rest of the series, I hope I didn't hear that. Nah. The rest of the series was very interesting, but you can actually look at... Oh, this is weird. This is real-time casting, because this game's going to be very long, so I don't even care. Who is this? ZombieGrub commenting her own text. Alright, we'll figure that out later. Anyway, I missed the first, 10 minutes of this game, so I had no idea he tried to kind of bunker rush her. I mean, what the hell is going on? There's a Marine that was trying to make their way over there. I think that hatchery could have seen the bunker, by the way. It was, right up against that thing. That was really weird, and the Marine feels a little bit crazy now. I mean, I get what he was doing, walking off the wall, maybe trying to get her to psych out, like, oh my god, he's going for a Rax, Reaper build, but no. Command center scene shortly after that. Overlord is gonna die, I think, to 2 Marines? Maybe even a 3rd one? I think it's gonna die. Oh my god, I thought Livibee was a Grandmaster. I thought she was, really good. But I don't know anymore. Oh, I know who this is. Okay, I'll respond to that later. Anyway. Yeah, Rifkin, here... I'm gonna preface, I guess, the rest of the cast again, because it's a very long cast, alright? With, the fact that Rifkin does weird stuff, and we all know that, but that there's another thing that's with Rifkin, and that's that people don't believe that he actually, A, made Masters, or B, wins with stupid shit. And it actually boggles my mind with how many show matches we've done, how many streams he's done. Not that he streams all the time, but, occasionally, that people just don't realize that he actually does win with crazy shit. And when he's trying, his mechanics aren't bad. So, I was really looking forward to this, when I tuned in about 20 minutes into this game, because I wanted to see how Livibee looked when she realized, oh shit, I should have taken this seriously. Because I guarantee you, for the first half of the first game that they played, she was not taking Rifkin seriously. I mean, even if she saw that he was a Masters player, which at the time of this, I think he was unranked, because it was a recent restart to the season. I usually, whatever, who cares, versus Terran is easy. I know exactly what versus Terran is gonna do, because Terran always does the stupid, 2-1-1s, and, 3x Reaper, it's not a problem, but of course Rifkin does weirder shit. I'm not even talking about just mech, I mean, proxy battlecruisers and stuff like that, so this is really on Livibee if she loses this, to make fun of her for losing this. I was trying to tell her, too, during the game. I was, in the chat, I was like, look, you shouldn't have underestimated the guy. He's actually not that bad, but she actually started concentrating on the game after a certain point, she's a very good streamer. I was talking to her chat and whatnot, but There's a couple of points she was definitely like, oh my god, I don't think I'm doing so well anymore, like, oh, what's happening? Well, we'll get to that later. Of course, right now we have a fusion core on the way, because that's what you do as a Terran player. You do get a fusion core. If your name's Bunny, you get a fusion core, like, 5 months ago, and you go for, like, a bunch of Liberators, but if your name's Rifkin, then you might try and go for Banshees with the Hyperflight Rotors, or not emergency, surprise battlecruisers, rather. What is coming out here? Actually, a Liberator. I cannot believe it. I don't believe it. Oh, and that supply block hurts. Not for long, though. Command Center and Slidey Bow finishing up here. So I guess you start off with the Liberator, which, that's gotta be Liberator range, then. Right? Second starport, obviously, clearly. What else would you do? I don't even really feel the necessity to commentate what Livibee's doing. Apparently Livibee was thinking maybe like a 3 racks follow-up to that bunker or something like that. I mean, she saw the command center. Well, I don't know what she was thinking with the Baneling Nest, but it wasn't anything too aggressive. Maybe she was thinking something weird like a 4 or 5 racks follow-up, which it existed once upon a time. And Rifkin probably has tried doing that, but the Baneling Nest actually feels a little bit useless here. It is Liberator range. Very interesting, but the follow-up, I think, will be into something more interesting than just Liberators, or at least I hope so. Liberators actually, like, on a scale of 1 to 10 of weirdness, put them at like a 6, you know, this early on in the game. It is clearly going to be mech, but obviously, you know, with the second starport, it's totally... The fuck is that? Well, okay. I said I want something more interesting, and I got it. I'm surprised that he went for only 1 round of Liberators, though. I thought he'd go at least for like 4 or 6. Probably 4 is what I was guessing. But no, right into that behemoth reactor. And there's the first battlecruiser at 640. If you want this build, then comment down below, and I'll totally send you the replay for like 10 bucks. It is worth, my friends. Well, that Liberator did like shit. Great job. Well, Rifkin, Liberator range? I don't know how original that is, buddy. And Frozen Temple? I mean, if you get back here, even then... What do you think this is, Dusty Towers? It's not gonna work. But what is potentially going to work is the Battlecruise Surprise. That's what I'm gonna call it. It's like a dish. The Battlecruise Surprise that is following things up. Because if one thing Rifkin does right, it's denying her scouting. He killed the first Overlord of the Marines. He's been knocking out these overlords here and there, and of course the Viking has been knocking out the overlords that she was probably going to use to scout. She does have a lair, you know, it's possible she could have gone for an overseer at this point and already scouted what was happening, although if you see 2 starports making with tech labs, the last thing on your mind is going to be battlecruisers. She probably would have thought maybe one obviously for Liberators and then maybe the other one like for Ravens, maybe? You know, if it was harder to swarm, I would say definitely. Like, the void's a little iffy, but still, the battlecruiser seriously, like, last on the list of things you'd expect when you scout double starport. Ooh, and she's getting, I feel, the wrong composition. I don't know, she really has no idea what's going on. I mean, this is... It's like, okay, that Baneling Nest felt like she knew he was going to do something weird, and she was just guessing at what that could possibly be, but now I'm unsure. Maybe she really doesn't know that he plays super weird. Because Mutiling Bling against who is typically a mech player, that's questionable. It's not exactly your death warrant, but it is questionable. So, either she doesn't know that he goes mech all the time, and potentially air mech, or she's trying to troll him. I'm not sure which one. They're both banking quite a lot, showing some real good skill here. Of course, Livibee has been talking to her chat this entire time. I know I was there. I come in around like 10 minutes later. I kind of wish I like brought up the chat or stream chat and put it like on the side so you can see my side remarks. But they, you know, whatever. Yeah, it's more Morling and upgrades. I mean, I guess if she was shooting towards ultras, that would usually work. But battlecruisers, ultras don't work against battlecruisers, so I don't know about that. The fungals might be useful later on, though, as it is going to be some air. I would say it would be more useful if it was not battlecruiser air, but you know, he has at least one reactor here, I guess. If he gets Ravens or Vikings or Liberators, fungals could be very useful with the, you know, Vipers. Abducting and blinding clouding and stuff. It's not... The invitation, but it's not terrible, but I do question still the melee upgrades. Oh. Rifkin, his excuse for his macro, he didn't have any gas. Took a while to get the third base. It's a planetary because Bronze League tactics don't only exist in Bronze League. Little known fact. There you go. She saw the battle cruisers. I think this is the point where I might have tuned in, actually. I thought it was much later, but I was wrong. Baneling's rolling in. Why not? Right into a tank. That safety tank. You know, it's gonna try real hard. Gonna try real hard, real hard! You failed, buddy. And SCVs go down. I don't think Rifkin really cares about that too much. He should definitely be above 53. And now he's at 43, but he has 4 command centers. Like, he'll replace it either way. Regardless of where he should have been earlier on. That Liberator's still there with mutas? Come on, Livibee. Let's get real here. Let's get that GM stuff going. There we go. Roach Warren, Hydralis Den, Hive on the way. Now things are looking better. A bit. 4 bases to 4, though. Does she know about that 4th base? She does. She do. Oh, I guess she's getting a 5th. I really think with 1,700 minerals, she probably could have expanded even more. Especially with how slow Rifkin's army is. You know, he probably wouldn't be getting around to the top right anytime soon, but well. I will say that that one strategy that existed in Wings of Liberty and Legacy, or Heart of the Swarm, where you would take bases to, at the very least, stop the command center from landing because of the creep, isn't really so good anymore, but whatever. Liberators are going to be able to deal with the mutas. I mean, again, like, the mutas initially wasn't, like, too big of a problem. They are obviously hard to use against Liberators, and that was pretty bad against 2 Liberators, but she's not really focusing on the mutas anymore. She is trying to think to bigger and better things, you know, with all this tech going on back in her main base, but she'll get around to it. She's got this. The Vipers are on the way. But, of course, the more Liberators for Rifkin. And, of course, all her upgrades. More battle cruisers, though. Yeah, I'm just gonna have 2-2 on his air. More command centers, because that's where you go. Starting to build walls everywhere, too. That's weird. That's interesting. I mean, if you put some missile turrets, I guess that's annoying. Corruptors and mutas now. I'm trying to deal with the air, but mutas probably won't last too much longer. Corruptors pissing on a command center. I remember this moment, and I was yelling. I was, like, really judging Rifkin hard right here, because in all of the casts we've ever done, I just remember him saying that, you know, you can't out-repair Corruptor DPS. He knows that, yet he didn't try and lift and float away. He just tried to repair, and that's, you know, that's questionable sometimes. But I guess he thought maybe the Liberators would come and, you know, make her pay for that. They didn't, but in retaliation, teleports battlecruisers in, because that's a normal thing to do in StarCraft 2. This is a tactic that he loves, I know that for a fact, and it actually works surprisingly well against Livibee, who doesn't even take down the, you know, battlecruisers on her way to other battlecruisers, and loses a fuck ton of drones. Jesus. Now Livibee is swimming in the cash. Alright, like 3,000, 1,000 just about. It's not too difficult to remake these, and these battlecruisers are really expensive, so losing 4 of them, I think? Yeah, this is going to be the 4th one. 4 of them is also pretty expensive, and generally not worth 32 drones. But it's about the mind games, you know? Like, Rifkin's really getting into her head here. What's he going to do next, you know? Like, make a bunch of Reapers? Who knows? Rifkin maybe does. I question sometimes if he knows what he's doing as a game plan, you know? I think sometimes he has a perfect game plan, and other times I really think that he's just like, you know what would be really cool right now? Like 50 Reapers, and then he just does it. Who knows? Nidus Worm, though, that's an interesting little addition. I would actually love this addition, you know, when you're banking a lot of minerals and gas, you know, why not start really trying to out-harass your opponent? Get some revenge with the battlecruisers, after all. Oh, there's the autocannon. But I think on Frozen Temple, Nidus Worm's gonna be one of the worst things you can get. I mean, it's not... You know, getting a surprise Nidus Worm in the main base could always be good. More battlecruiser damage, of course. This is normal now. That, you know, but yeah, and the Nidus Worm in the main, that's okay, and probably really good, because his production's all tied up in these starports, and losing any of them would be devastating, but anywhere else is not really, like, a reason to, you know. They go to Gettysburg, you can get to different locations really quickly, and they can't. Or you get to the island bases and they can't, or you kill their island bases, you know, before they can respond, something like that. But Frozen Temple's a very small map, so the Nidus Worm actually feels kind of, you know, kind of useless. I don't think she ever really uses them, though, as far as I can remember. She just has it to maybe use them. I might be wrong. That's a lot of units. We'll see where that pops up. 11 more Corruptors on the way. Still upgrading the melee here. She got the +1 missile, but I wonder about the melee. Alright, well. Oh, okay, the Nidus Worm was used as a quicker reinforcement point. Again, Frozen Temple, especially with the Creep Sword having not been denied ever. It'd probably be okay just to A-move from a location. Rifkin has really no scouting. And like I said, not clearing up any creep. So the board is kind of hers to control. I don't think the Nidus Worm was necessary, but it's here. He's going to have to move this really slow army away whilst defending, you know, putting up a stack defenses. I mean, I like this. This could be useful later, probably. Oh, there's a lot of banelings. Is it worth it, though? Livibee, 1,000 gas ain't that much. Really, you know, 4,000 gas, will make all the banelings you want, but 1,000 gas is questionable. Goes right into that planetary, will kill it, just barely. Maybe if you had repaired SCVs faster, it would have been different, but oh, gets all the queens of the Liberators. We got Corruptors trying to pee on everything over here, but I think she misunderestimated? That's a word. She underestimated? Misevaluated. That's the word I was looking for. Maybe. The power of missile turrets. When Corruptors, you know, 1 or 2 of them pee on 10 different things, they're not as powerful. Even when they're fully charged. Fully ramped up. Well, that is a pretty good blinding cloud, so the Liberators die, but so do most of the Corruptors, having already been weakened. Finally, a Blue Flame on the way, 16-minute Blue Flame, but that's, you know, that makes sense because it's like 16-minute second factory. Good build, good build. Decent defensive setup, you know. I don't like the main. The main ramp is probably never going to be used. I think she's just figuring, she's just guessing that there's going to be like tanks there, so why even bother? And it's not a bad guess. But no, Rifkin's actually mostly focusing on his battle cruisers. Starting to build Hellions though. I think that's why he got the Blue Flame. Just because he realized he had a, you know, maybe a mineral dump somewhere. Could also mineral dump into more command centers. Has to cancel this one. Pesky Lings. Kills a couple of drones, though. How many units have been lost? 52 workers, 27. Alright, that's not so impressive, but it is starting to maybe take a toll on Livibee. I would say maybe not. Again, like 3,000, 1,000 is not the most impressive bank in the world. She has been trading. A lot more Corruptors coming in here, sniping a battle cruiser that was abducted. Rifkin's still winning and the resources lost, however. It's killing more drones. Oh my god, these Hellions, please. Now Blue Flame is done, too, so they're just roasty toasty. That's gonna be about 30 more drones killed before... Wait, Corruptors can't respond to this. Hey. Well, before something does. I mean, I guess she's starting to rebuild the queens that she lost. 7 more on the way, good god. She does have a lot of hatcheries. They try to transform, that was a neat little trick. Maybe take out a bunch more lings, doesn't really work out. Rifkin starts expanding to the top right, says fuck it to the bottom left. Alright then. Upgrades looking pretty good for both sides. Livibee really rounding everything out, they'll be getting a greater spire as well, and Rifkin's still missing his +3 armor. Might want to get that later on. A lot more missile turrets though. Realizes the threat of the Corruptors and the Vipers. Another Liberator in a very pesky location. I'm sure by now she is very annoyed. In fact, I know she was very annoyed. I mean, she's not like, you know, cursing him out or anything, because Livibee's, you know, shouldn't really do that. But at this point, she is saying, oh my god, I can't believe it. What even is this? Those are word for word, trust me. But anyway, it's basically what she was saying. And she was starting to focus on the game a little bit more. I think when she realized around now that she didn't have that much of a bank anymore, she was a little concerned. You know, she's had so many bases, but she's also had to remake so many drones, and has just been trading armies. In fact, there hasn't really been even a minute where Livibee wasn't trying to attack into something, you know, to accrue a huge bank. So our gas is looking pretty good right now. Rifkin's bank actually looks more impressive. Yep. And he's probably gonna get this base soon. Another attack on the bottom. 19 minutes in, we finally have some Broodlords. Nah, I'm not sure how useful that's going to be, though. You know, Broodlords can help complement a Zerg army if there's tanks helping to complement a mech army, or Hellions, or anything, really, right? But it is just an air army. So I really don't know if the Broodlord's going to be that impactful. Of course, another teleport. Usually I'd be shocked to see just a battlecruiser disappear, but I'm used to it. This is like the 10th battlecruiser harassment. Unfortunately, this one just goes right into a bunch of corruptors. Like the Widow Mines. This is going to be even further annoyance for Livibee to deal with. When did she get 2 Nidus Worms? Why is that necessary? Well, I missed that. Baneless is gonna go down. Not that it was helping too much anyway. Apparently we had a fight in our hands. A bunch of Liberators ran in trying to get the kills, and while they do, they also get killed. Those parasitic bombs were nasty. Disgusting. Livibee takes the worst trade, and she's gonna run a bank. She's gonna run out of hatcheries. This hatchery's going down. These Helen's taking care of the drones. I guess the Corruptors finally take care of that battlecruiser, but her mass Corruptor Queen Viper army is not working. I think it's at 20. It's around this time, 21 minutes, that she probably realized she might lose this game. She really does not have any mineral bank anymore. As good as the Blinding Cloud stacks have been, oh, they stack. Oh. The Blinding Clouds have been. They still stack, right? I forget if they changed that or not. They reduced the damage, but I can't remember the stacking. I think they do. Whatever, anyways, they've been good, but they've not been as good as the Liberators and the Blue Flame Hellion harassment. That's 130 workers killed to 33. A couple missile turrets end up finishing, or at least one of them does, to help clear out some of these Corruptors, and the lift is good this time, so the command center is going to get out of there. And the Corruptors really can't chase anymore. They can't chase into that field of missile turrets. You know, funnily enough, focusing so much on her melee upgrades, yet not really on her lings, when for a lot of this game there hasn't been Hellions. They appeared for, you know, after like 14 minutes and only here and there. And she probably could have been using like 20 lings to clear out some of these missile turrets. You know, she's trying to do it now. And Rifkin's responding, but the point is, like, this missile turret field got up when she was entirely dedicating to this field over here. You know, that's just maybe one of the things that could have been different. I don't know. I also think that's the biggest difference that could be made, besides maybe taking Rifkin more seriously in the early game and not letting him get to this point. That old saying, just don't let him get to that point. Would be putting down spore crawlers on the front lines of her creep and then abducting the battlecruisers into said spore crawlers. That's always a neat little trick. Livibee is starting to run out of drones. 23 more dead battlecruisers. The battlecruisers, they've killed probably 60 drones themselves and 1 or 2 hatcheries. Hard to say it's worth like 8 battlecruisers. 60 battlecruisers. Some of those were in the fight though. But yeah, that's interesting. This time, the parasitic bombs weren't enough to kill the Liberators. They got so close, but Rifkin actually spread out a little bit. The Corruptors aren't here. They're coming in now, but only after the Broodlords are dead. Again, oh my god, 4 of them just died right there. Again, questioning the usage of the Broodlords, but now they're gone. Queens are really the only thing left over for Livibee, and I think it's tap-out time. Down 80 supply. Rifkin still has a decent bank. Still getting his expansions down. This one, pretty brand new. This one has been mined out with mules and whatnot, but this one's still fresh. And he's threatening this base. He's gonna win. I told you guys, if you were listening to me in the first couple minutes of this game and you're like, nah, she probably wins regardless. Spoiler alert, she don't. Rifkin wins this game, and then we'll go on to play off races the next couple of games. If you want to check those out, as this game starts to kind of wind down, Battlecruiser takes forever to kill with Queens, you can go to Livibee's channel, I do believe. Probably see them in her VODs. I don't actually know how accurate that statement is. I have no idea if you need to sub to her for VODs or if she has a YouTube channel. I know she has a YouTube channel, but I don't know if she uploads really good games. You guys will figure it out. And if not, then it's fine. The next 2 games in this best of 3, I'll spoil that much for you, I guess, were questionable in their quality. I mean, this one is questionable in a way, but I would say that watching mass air mech defeat a GM is always pretty cool. Livibee is like a good Zerg player. I was so busy, I guess, defending Rifkin that I forget that Livibee still gets a lot of crap. about not being good or whatever, whatever. But no, she's pretty good. A lot of this had to be not taking him seriously initially, and also not knowing how Rifkin plays, I would guess, too. Because staying first and foremost on Ling Muta was just not going to set her up well, regardless of how she, you know, played out the rest of the game. Because there's certainly things she could have done differently after the 15-minute mark, you know, with her Corruptors and Vipers and whatnot. But I would say the biggest difference between this game and any other game you see, like when we cast Lily Kanine versus another Zerg player, is that those Zerg players usually get control of the game around at least the mid-game, but usually like early mid-game. And they just kind of take control and just, you know, don't let the Terran player feel comfortable, which Rifkin... I mean, it's not that Livibee was ever passive. That's another way that she could have played. You know, gotten that really huge bank that just kept throwing bodies at him, but... I mean, the fights that she was trying to take, I felt that they came too late. It was, you know, almost pure Corruptor that were stacking against Liberators. We missed out on Fungals. I mean, she got the Infestation Pit. I was really hyped for the Fungals. Never happened. That probably could have helped a lot versus the Liberators. Guaranteed extra splash, extra damage with some Fungals. But, you know, you live and learn, I guess. And, yeah, they played another 2 games after this. They weren't as long, I suppose, if that's the reason you don't want to watch them. They weren't. But they were with the off races of these 2 players, so... It was interesting. It was very interesting. Just more battlecruisers. A 3rd factory? Is that a 3rd factory? That is the 3rd factory made in this 26-minute game. Rifkin went mech. Oh, this game is over. I mean, Livibee was at 100 supply, and she's managed to crawl her way back up to 160 with what was still, I guess, consistent income. But it is over. 200 supply of something that Livibee has not been able to deal with. Bunch of income graphs. Ooh, this is a roller coaster. Whoa there, hey! Actually, I'm surprised that Livibee has so many peaks in this game. Of course, now Rifkin is taking, you know, full control, but damn. More parasitic bombs going down, but unfortunately she did not catch the Widow Mines burrowing. Oh my god, is that +3 armor? 30-minute +3 armor. Nailed it. Whereas Livibee has been maxed out on even her air? Oh, not quite her air. But still, maxed out on a lot of her upgrades for some time. Still wasn't enough. More missile turrets. Rifkin has accrued a 5,000, 3,000 bank. Amazing. Truly witnessing the best that North America has to offer in terms of Sky Terran. Yep. Livibee doesn't know that she's dead. Or maybe she does. I don't know. You know, 160 supply isn't bad, and she's gotten a bit of a bank again, but I think she's realized that nothing battle-wise has really gone in her favor. So what would change here? Nothing. More drones go down. What is the total for that? 190 drones have died in this game. Can Rifkin make it an even 200? Who knows? Not sure how much longer this game goes on. Does it even hit the 30-minute mark? This might be the last fight here. Oh, those Corruptors, they hit a... Oh, the Widow Mines were good. But are the Liberators better? They're starting to kind of spread out. Maybe not. SCVs are mass repairing these battlecruisers, and Rifkin actually has to disengage. But look at Livibee's supply. She lost 50, but Rifkin only lost 40. Sounds like an even trade, but Rifkin's the one with the huge bank, so... I thought more drones died. My bad. Broodlords, I guess I see that she was trying to get... she was trying to kill the missile turrets with the siege units. I kind of get that, but I also will say that... so it's going to be difficult against a Sky Terran. Usually the problem with going Sky Terran, by the way, is that something like a situation like this, as you slowly siege hop the Broodlords, is that they can't run into the Broodlords because you have Spore Crawlers and Fungals and Parasitic Bombs and Corruptors. Livibee never had Spore Crawlers and never had Fungals. So whenever Rifkin felt threatened enough, he actually engaged and would win the engagements with his Liberators. That is probably the biggest problem in all these engagements for the last, like, 10 minutes. But the Broodlords had a purpose. And I was kind of ragging on them earlier, because I know from watching the stream that they didn't do very much, but they do have a purpose. They didn't really find theirs here. Livibee's entirely out of gas. Even if she wanted to make fungals, investors now. Yeah, that wouldn't work. I think we did reach the 200 mark, by the way. 203 drones have died to 52 SCVs, and about 20 of those were freely given by Rifkin because both of them at one point were banking like 80, 90 workers, something like that. It was kind of crazy. Meant to highlight it, but then they started dying, so whatever. More SCVs gonna be just taken to the slaughter, I suppose. While repairing, I think this is a, you know, kind of a why not before you die, get him to repair, but they also probably should die because he's still on 73 for what is 2 bases mining. Yeah. That is a pretty oversaturated base right there. He even managed to, what looks to be on purpose, oversaturate both gas geysers, but I'm pretty sure that wasn't. Well, fight goes down. That was just too important. I had to note it. Fight going down, even without the help of the missile turrets. Looks like it might still go in the favor of Rifkin. Livibee dips below 100 supply and can only remake queens. She got no gas. The battle cruisers went out after the autocannons go down. And that is it. Livibee probably just holding her head in frustration. Not like this. But like this, Livibee. Exactly like this. It's either bullshit mech strategies or bullshit cheese strategies with this guy, I swear to God. So this is how it happens. Yeah, that's legitimately for repair. That is believable. One thing that is not believable, though, is just how little creep Rifkin has managed to clean up with about 50 Blue Flame Hellions and engaging on a creep. Not a single Raven made. And no use for scans. Who needs those? I don't even think he ever scanned the army. Ever. But you don't need it. It's fine. I mean, Livibee kind of came to him every single time, so. GG! Well played. Rifkin takes game number 1 of the best of 3 show match against Livibee. Told you guys. It's crazy motherfucker. And no one will believe me that he wins. Everyone's always like, yeah, you should go show match. It's not fun. It's not. Do you want to play against this? This is a 32-minute long game. I don't want to play against it. You think it's any better in a TVT? No, it's worse. Alright. God. I can't even. I wasn't even playing this game. GG, Rifkin won the game. Enjoy the video. Bye forever.